A rejected tenant receives a precise explanation, but she wanted the decision reviewed and the apartment has already gone to someone else. The explanation may be accurate and useful. It still answers why, while her question was whether the result could be reconsidered. Explanation, appeal, repair, and acknowledgment are not interchangeable. They answer opacity, error, recoverable loss, and moral residue, which are 4 different wrongs. Offering one remedy can therefore leave the grievance untouched, not because the response is worthless, but because it solves another problem. The practical task is diagnosis. What is hidden? What is mistaken? What can be restored? And what remains after a justified loss? Consider a bounded letting scenario. An automated screening step rejects one applicant. An agent can explain the reason, and the apartment is allocated elsewhere. The reason is accurate. The screening contains no error within the scenario, and repeating the same steps returns the same result. The agent explains the criterion and how it applied. The tenant now understands the decision, yet she still lacks reconsideration, practical support, and recognition. She received a genuine remedy for opacity. Her grievance persists because she was asking about error, loss, and what the rejected move still meant. Begin with the map rather than any favored response. The same adverse decision can create several wrongs, and each wrong calls for a different answer. Diagnosis prevents remedy substitution. Opacity is a failure of intelligibility. The person cannot see how the outcome followed, which blocks evaluation even when the decision itself may be sound. Clarity restores evaluative access. Error is different. The criterion input or application is mistaken, so the outcome deserves reconsideration rather than merely a clearer account of how it happened. Mistakes require corrective authority. Loss concerns consequences. A decision may disrupt housing, transport, time, or preparation in ways that remain partly reducible after the outcome is fixed. Consequences survive procedural completion. Residue remains after a justified decision when a valid losing claim still matters. It calls for acknowledgment. Even where explanation, review, and repair are complete, justification can leave residue. Explanation answers opacity by making the decision intelligible. It supplies reasons, reveals the governing criterion, and shows how the person's case moved through the process. Reasons create usable clarity. In the bounded case, explanation shows why the token left the apartment path. The tenant can assess the reason rather than guessing about hidden treatment. Understanding changes practical orientation. That matters because reasons permit judgment. A person can accept, challenge, compare, or expose a criterion only after the decision becomes intelligible enough to examine. Intelligibility enables informed judgment, but explanation does not itself reopen the case, restore a disrupted move, or recognize the residue. Its value becomes distorted when asked to perform those tasks. Distinct functions resist substitution. Explanation is therefore a complete remedy for opacity, not a partial version of appeal. Calling it insufficient without naming the wrong confuses the comparison. Adequacy follows the grievance. Appeal answers error by placing the decision before someone able to reconsider it. The essential change is authority, not additional detail about the original reason. Authority makes reconsideration real. A meaningful appeal can examine inputs, application, or criterion and change the outcome when the first decision fails. It requires both review and corrective power. Correction requires possible change. Where an error exists, explanation alone leaves it active. A person may understand a mistaken decision perfectly and still need someone authorized to correct it. Clarity cannot remove error. Where review confirms correctness, appeal has done its job even if disappointment remains. Repeating it cannot guarantee a preferred outcome or recover later consequences. Review can confirm correctness. Appeal is a remedy for possible error, not a promise of reversal. Its success is a trustworthy reconsideration, including the possibility that the decision stands. Reconsideration need not reverse. Repair answers loss by reducing a consequence or restoring something taken away. It looks forward from the decision toward what can still be changed. Repair targets material consequence. Some losses are directly recoverable. A misplaced application can be restored, duplicated work reduced, or an interrupted transition supported through another route. Practical recovery has degrees. Repair can accompany either outcome. A corrected decision may still need practical restoration, while a justified decision may create disruption worth reducing. Justification permits restorative action, yet repair has limits. An alternative apartment may reduce disruption while failing to restore the lost place, timing, expectation, or personal significance. Replacement cannot recreate history. Repair is complete when the recoverable loss is addressed. Demanding that it erase every residue turns practical restoration into a promise it cannot keep. Honest repair acknowledges limits. Acknowledgment answers residue by recognizing the valid claim or cost that remains after the decision is justified, and the recoverable consequences are addressed. Residue survives practical restoration. It does not require pretending the decision was mistaken. The institution can defend the result while addressing the person whose legitimate interest did not prevail. Defense and recognition coexist. Acknowledgment is also distinct from material repair. Recognition may accompany assistance, but neither money nor replacement automatically communicates that the original claim mattered. Material help cannot recognize. The automated process cannot perform this moral relationship. Human operators and the institution that selected the process remain capable of acknowledgement after its output. Responsibility remains with people. Acknowledgement is complete when the specific residue is recognized responsively. It need not manufacture regret, promise reversal, or substitute ceremony for practical repair. Specificity prevents empty ceremony. Several wrongs can coexist. An opaque, mistaken decision may cause practical loss and leave residue, making all four remedies relevant for different reasons. Combined wrongs need combinations. Sequence matters. Explanation may reveal an error, appeal may correct it, repair may reduce the resulting disruption, and acknowledgement may address what restoration misses. Sequence preserves functional boundaries. Correction does not automatically repair. Winning an appeal after the move collapses may restore access while leaving duplicated cost, delay, and disruption in place. Correction can arrive late. Acknowledgement without available repair can also ring hollow. Recognizing a preventable consequence while leaving an accessible corrective step unused preserves the wrong it names. Unused repair undermines acknowledgement. The operational rule is simple. Diagnose every wrong, map each to its remedy, and preserve their boundaries so one response does not hide another omission. Mapping prevents false closure. The strongest objection is scale. Providing 4 responses after each automated decision could consume resources, delay finality, and burden people with unwanted institutional contact. Scale challenges delivery design. The objection succeeds against universal bundling. Ethical adequacy does not require offering every remedy when the corresponding wrong is absent or the person declines it. Imagine a bounded agency with a first response coordinator. The coordinator identifies opacity, possible error, recoverable disruption, and residue before routing the person onward. Classification itself can be contested. The institution may see disappointment where the person sees error, or offer repair where the unresolved demand is acknowledgement. A second limitation is quality. Appeal without authority, repair without relevant resources, or acknowledgement without specific engagement can imitate a remedy while withholding its substance. Apply the map to the original tenant. Explanation addressed opacity. Review confirmed correctness. Moving support could reduce disruption. Acknowledgement could address the lost move. Change one fact. Suppose the input was misplaced. Appeal becomes urgent, and explanation that merely describes the mistake cannot substitute for correction. The comparison reveals the principle. The wrong remedy is not a smaller dose of the right one. It is a complete answer to another question. The full map is now clear. Explanation answers opacity, appeal answers error, repair answers recoverable loss, and acknowledgement answers residue after justified defeat. Use explanation when the person cannot understand the decision. Its success is intelligibility sufficient for evaluation, not agreement, correction, or practical restoration. Use appeal when the decision may be wrong. Its success is authoritative reconsideration capable of changing the outcome, even when review ultimately confirms it. Use repair when a consequence can be reduced or restored. Its success is practical improvement which may remain necessary after either correction or confirmation. Use acknowledgement when a valid claim or cost remains after other questions are settled, Its success is responsive recognition, shaped around the person and residue. Before any remedy, an unnameable grievance needs vocabulary. A person cannot request the right response while the wrong itself remains unavailable for shared examination. Distributed responsibility needs an answerable role before appeal can arrive anywhere. Reconsideration fails when each contributor controls only one fragment and nobody holds the whole. Instrumental treatment needs standing before repair becomes responsive. Assistance designed around institutional convenience can reproduce the original wrong while improving the person's material position. The resolution is diagnostic, not maximal. Identify every wrong that occurred, provide the corresponding remedy, and avoid presenting one completed response as universal closure. Ask 4 questions. Can the person understand? Can the decision be reconsidered? Can the consequence be reduced, and does a valid residue remain? The answer need not be the same in every case. Proportion, institutional capacity, and the person's preference shape which responses are justified, and how far they go. The final evaluative question is not whether a remedy was offered. It is which wrong occurred, which response reached it, and what remained untouched. The machine is learning. The question is, what are we teaching it?